Hi, my name is Jon Paquette. I'm the lead writer on Marvel's Spider-Man.
I am losing patience. Where is the file?
There's someone else here.
Around the time we finished Sunset Overdrive, you know, the team talked about, you know, hey, what would be the best game that would fit what we do as a studio?
I'm surprised you made it this far. But your foolishness ends now.
Played the games and we tried to figure out what were the best parts of those games. What do we think as game makers they did very well, and then we tried to do our own version of that. So for example, the web swinging is one of those things that we said we love how the web's always attached to buildings, right? Like that's something that feels, as you're swinging through the city, it feels like it makes you feel more like Spider-Man when that happens. And so we decided early on that's definitely something we want to do. But then we took a lot of those things and we said, okay, how do we make these better? How do we make this something new that you know, players haven't experienced before? And how do we make it feel even more like Spider-Man?
I've taken it.
Those masks. Who are these guys?
There's no one here but us. We will find the file.
Well, a couple things. One, like I mentioned earlier, we wanted to make Peter more experienced at the start. We didn't want to do an origin story because we feel like people know that his name is Spider-Man. He got bit by a spider, you know that. We don't need to, you know, no need to show that. So we wanted to tell a different story. One that we feel as fans that we could pick up and play and really jump into and see something new and fresh. But also a story, and this was one of the challenges in creating the story, is how do we appeal to fans that don't really know Spider-Man all that well, you know, don't really know about his origin? How do we create a story that doesn't include that, but still makes sense to those people? So it was a bit of a challenge in the writing, and just something that we had to, you know, continually work at to make sure, and let people play who don't really know about Spider-Man or don't really like Spider-Man. And you know, just as an aside, we do a lot of what we call usability testing. So we bring people off the street, we have them play the game, and one of the things I love to see is when people say, I'm not a Spider-Man fan, I don't really like Spider-Man, but I love this game, you know, and I love the character and you know, everything that you know, this character does in this game. Because that to me says, you know, not only are we appealing to the fans, we're also appealing to people who aren't fans, and hopefully we get new fans.
Yes.
What? Is it National Rocket Day or something?
Went up on a whiteboard, we put all the characters up there, and we said, okay, we could do this character, that character. But we settled on Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, as one of the main villains because that's something that not a lot of people are familiar with. But he also ties into that theme of, you know, Peter Parker's world and Spider-Man's world colliding. You know, he works at Feast, Peter's aunt works at Feast, you know, together, you know, and when he becomes Mr. Negative and is a villain out there in the city, Spider-Man has to, you know, take him down, but he also knows, you know, who he is. A lot of it comes from that usability testing, like I said. When we would bring people in off the street, and we would test that, we would watch them play. And what's kind of cool is that when we do this testing, you know, we get all the button inputs, but we also like get their eye. You know, we can see where their eyes are looking on the screen, and then we decide, okay, do they understand how to do this move that we think is important?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I think we as the studio just decided to, you know, do whatever we could to you know, make the best looking game possible, you know, we decided, you know, 30 frames a second is great, as long as we can push the graphical fidelity of everything. Hopefully you agree that we've created something that looks and feels amazing, as you said. couple of things with that. We wanted it to feel cinematic, right? We said from the beginning we kind of wanted this to feel like you're playing a Marvel movie, right? So we had to have those moments that are big action and paced and really cool. At the same time, you know, we wanted to make the player feel like the actions that they're doing have impact. So that's one of those sort of tricks that you get when you go slow motion and you can really see him doing, you know, we call them finishers, I think is what you're talking about. That makes you feel cool as a player. It makes you feel like you're very powerful. Yeah.
Do you need money?
No, I mean, I'm a little behind on my rent, but no, I'm fine.
Girl problems again, huh?
What? No, that's crazy.
Well, you know that. Sorry. The way that the swinging works is that you know, it's very physically real. So when you get good at swinging, you know, you'll start a swing, and then depending on where you let go of the web, sometimes you'll shoot straight out if you let go, you know, down at this part of the swing. And if you hold on and then let go here, you'll go high up in the air. So it's a feel thing. Like, you know, when you get good, you'll figure out, how do I, you know, go where I want to go.
Thanks for the confidence boost, guys. Enough talk. That's not fair.
Do you have something in? Okay, after the vacation. After that,
yeah.
Do we have already something in the works?
Yeah, so we've announced some DLC that we're doing, downloadable content. We call it The City That Never Sleeps, and it's going to be a series of stories that you know, come after the events of the game, that focus on different characters that you see in the main story.
Thanks for the confidence boost, guys. Enough talk. Spider Cop's on the job. Come hell or high water. The job gets...
Nope.
She'd never admit it, but the chief was warming up to Spider Cop. His casual disregard...